Good evening and welcome to the regular meeting of the Putnam County Legislature of February 7th, 2023. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'd like to call on Legislator Elmer to lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for the legislative prayer. I'll call on Legislator Sage.
Today may I be open to others' ideas and beliefs, respectful of our differences, not threatened by them. May I grow in understanding of my own motives, knowing that people often act out of their own fears. May I be a force for replacing fear with insight, helping us all to be patient and kind as we talk. Strength, real strength, can always find compromise. Working together, may we find common ground, enable us to move forward with a shared purpose. May we see what is truly important and unites us, focusing on that to banish roadblocks of ego and fear. Today, may I be open to others' ideas and beliefs.
Thank you. Please remain standing for just a moment of silence. Last week we lost an SPO, Tim Stewart. Please keep him in your thoughts and his family in your thoughts. Just a moment of silence, please. Thank you. At this time, I'll call on the clerk of the legislature for a roll call.
District 1, Legislator Montgomery. Present. District 2, Legislator Goldman.
Present.
District 3, Legislator Anizio. Present. District 4, Legislator Masserino. District 5, Legislator Elmer.
Here.
District 6, Legislator Castellano.
Present.
District 8, Legislator Sage.
Present.
District 9, Legislator Crowley.
Present.
District 6, Chairman Young.
Present. At this time, I'll call on Legislator Sage for a proclamation.
Mark?
This is honoring Office for Senior Resources employees Margie Silverman and Lloyd Hartley.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. We wanted to recognize your outstanding act of heroism. Face the audience. Yeah.
Thank you.
Whereas Margie Silverman, the site manager of the William Kohler Memorial Senior Center in Mahopac. Yeah.
Thank you.
Whereas Margie Silverman, the site manager of the William Kohler Memorial Senior Center in Mahopac, immediately jumped into action on December 16, 2022, when she saw a senior choking on food. She began the Heimlich maneuver on the gentleman, but quickly realized, due to his relative size, she would not be able to muster the force needed to dislodge the food item and call for help. Office of Senior Resources driver Lloyd Hartley was in the kitchen preparing meals to be delivered to the homebound seniors. When he heard the site manager Silverman's call for assistance, he ran into the dining room where he performed the Heimlich maneuver on the gentleman, successfully dislodging the food he was choking on. The gentleman's breathing quickly returned to normal. He was examined by the responding EMTs and taken to the emergency room. The gentleman has since returned to the William Kohler Memorial Senior Center many times with his wife. The swift action of both the site manager, Margie Silverman, and driver, Lord Hartley, was a result of their sincere compassion for others, coupled with the CPR and Heimlich maneuver training that is provided to senior resource staff officers twice per year by Putnam County Bureau of Emergency Services, the most recent training happening just a week before. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Putnam County Executive and the Putnam County Legislature do hereby recognize Margie Silverman, site manager of the William Kohler Memorial Senior Center, and Lloyd Hartley, our Office of Senior Resources driver, for their immediate response, which resulted in a life-saving act. We are proud to serve alongside such brave and compassionate employees. And with that, I'm proudly present this proclamation. Thank you so much for your service to
Thank you.
I just thank you so
I'm just glad I was there at the right time.
time, and I had the training, and he's okay now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Thank
what you
you.
do to our seniors and saving their lives.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 4 is the acceptance of minutes. The regular meeting, December 6, 2022. Our year-end meeting, December 20th, 2022. The organizational meeting, January 3rd, 2023. And the special meeting of January 19th, 2023. Item 5 is correspondence from the county auditor. There's no activity reported. At this time, I'd like to call on Chairman Ad Nizio of the Rules Enactments and Intergovernmental Relations Committee.
Thank you, Chairman Yaffe. 6A is the approval of local law amending Chapter 220 of the Code of Putnam County entitled Taxation. This is an exemption for members of volunteer fire departments and men's corps. This provides a real property tax exemption of 10% for qualified members of volunteer fire departments and ambulance corps statewide, subject to adoption by individual municipalities. Our volunteers are the backbone of Putnam County, and this will not only encourage new members, but also help to retain them, and I'm proud to move this forward this evening.
Discussion. I'd just like to say that having been in the tax business for over 30 years, this is an exemption that truly rewards our neighbors. We fund our neighbors' exemptions, and because these are volunteers who serve our community, we're rewarding those members of the community who give up their time. They give up their weekends, they run out during their meals to keep us safe, and that's why I've supported this exemption. Legislator Woolman.
Thank you, Chairman. I think this is a great move for Putnam County, and I'm glad that New York State is allowing this to occur throughout the state. Becoming a volunteer in a fire department or an ambulance corps takes a very special individual. Throughout Putnam, every department is looking for new volunteers. We need volunteers who are willing to go out and go above the norm. Whenever the bell rings, they go. They go to duty. Whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning, Sunday morning, in the afternoon, whenever, they move. Imagine this. Imagine calling 911 and no one comes to help you. This could be a horrible situation. Because of this, we need volunteers. Every department is having issues. And because of this, I'm going to be supporting this, and we should be doing more of this type of thing for the volunteers in the ambulance corps and the fire departments throughout Putnam County. Thank you.
Legislator Montgomery.
Thank you. I sat with the Association of Towns before I got on the county legislature for year after year and listened to how to solve this dilemma of retaining volunteers and recruiting volunteers. And it's a conversation that's been happening since I got involved with local government 15 years ago. New York volunteers have declined by 32% over the last 25 years. This will help with retention, and all departments are struggling to help other districts with low staffing. So not only are they responding to calls, but the level of training and the hands-on experience and the time they spend in class is above and beyond. And for me, aside from this job I have, which is a very rewarding job, working with the disabled one and mostly being a volunteer EMT was the most rewarding investment of my entire life. Now, at home, when I hear the tones go off and I watch my son, after working a 12-hour shift as a professional EMT, when he hears the tones go off, he gets up and goes and responds as a volunteer. And I can't really take my jaw off the floor to imagine all the others that are doing the same in our communities. So I encourage every taxing entity to do the same. I said this to the Phillipstown Town Board and the Putnam Valley Town Board where I represent, and all fire districts and school districts, I hope will do the same.
Any other discussion? I'd like to conclude just by saying that the governor passed this legislation, she signed the bill on December 15th. We really worked hard to move this quickly to get to this point to pass this legislation in order that the volunteers could apply by the taxable status date this year, which is March 1st. So we really have gone out of our way to push this, and it's because of the support of everyone on the legislature. With that, I'll say all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Moving on to 6B, it's a local law to amend Chapter 70 of the Putnam County Code entitled Legislative Districts. This is a redistricting, and it has been amended to read as follows, and that is a description of the districts that have been amended.
Discussion. Legislative Sage.
I just have to thank everybody who worked on this. This was like a big puzzle in Putnam County. And, I'd like to thank our volunteers, our legislative council, the people on the committee for their hard work. It looks to me to be a great division. And, I just want to thank everybody who worked on it. I really have no say in it, just looks good.
Legislative Powell.
I'd also like to thank the Board of Elections. I know they worked hard. A lot of hours were spent on it, and they gave us two great maps to choose from. I really appreciate all the hours and time they put into it, so thank you very much.
I too would like to thank our commissioners for the hard work they put in, our legislative council, our IT department put a lot of work into this. We did have a resident who volunteered and served on this committee, and I thank him for his volunteerism. Any other discussion? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Personnel Committee. On behalf of Legislators Castellano, Nazarino, and myself, I'd like to move forward with item 6C, which is the approval of fund transfer, highway and facilities, county, state, snow, supplies, and materials. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 6D is the approval of a budgetary transfer, County Executive's Office, reorganization, reclassification, staff and department salaries. Discussion.
Through the chair.
Yes.
I would ask to divide following the $40,000 licensing software outline and the increase in deputy county executive salary. Divide the
That's
question.
the first bullet and the last bullet?
Mhm.
Legislative Council, can you just explain the process of dividing this question?
Yes, under the legislative manual, the procedure for the dividing of a question is that if any question contains more than one distinct proposition, it shall be divided by the chair at the request of any one member, meaning it's a non-discretionary act that the chair has to do if two conditions are met. If the question has more than one distinct proposition, and if it is requested by any member, it does not need a second, it does not need to be voted upon.
So with that, we're going to talk about the first bullet point, which is the increase in the deputy county executive salary. Discussion.
I guess I'll discuss. This is going to just say that it's very difficult to justify this increase to my constituents at this time. As I've said before, this can have a rippling effect on our employees right here in Putnam County. It begs the question that when our employees are in need of health insurance or decline health insurance, that they would ask for a raise. Again, this has nothing to do with qualifications or experience.
Any other discussion? Legislative Sage.
Thank you, through the chair. Excuse me. During the 2023 budget period, the legislature approved compensation for the deputy county executive in the amount of $125,000. Subsequently, we approved an increase of 3.5% for the cost of living to the position, bringing the compensation to $129,375. The county executive is proposing an additional bump up of $24,625, bringing the salary to $154,000. This increase puts the deputy county executive in line with Putnam County department heads, making more than many who have decades of service to Putnam County. This is an unprecedented increase for one candidate. I understand that this candidate is well qualified and is a talented administrator. And I also understand that he had a salary greater than this amount at his previous appointment. But this is a budgeted salary line that is open to the public and was understood at the time of his accepting employment here in Putnam County. It is not the responsibility of the Putnam County taxpayer to make any candidate hold for any position previously held at another job. That is not to say that this cannot be revisited during budget time, as all compensation is and increased at that time based on circumstances. I just, at this time, cannot hand over $24,000 of taxpayer money to justify the expense of one employee. I've heard repeatedly that the justification for this increase is the fact that this candidate will not be accepting health insurance benefits. However, this should not be used to increase or offset proposed salaries. The regular Putnam County employees receive $700 if they choose to opt out of Putnam County health insurance. Offering a $24,625 increase for the deputy is unheard of and should not be used for justification for the increase. Also, saying that the restructuring saves the county money is misleading in my opinion, since two budget lines were being used from sub-contingency in the amount of $68,825. Sub-contingency is an account that the legislature uses to put money aside that we choose not to put into a specific line item. If we don't use it for that specific line item, then the sub-contingency amount goes back into the general fund. If we hadn't used these sub-contingency lines for the intended purpose, the entire balance of $68,825 would have gone into contingency. And the county executive proposed restructuring would have a $4,101 shortfall. This transaction requires taking money out of the contingency that would otherwise go into the contingency line and therefore back into the general fund. The county executive is also taking, as legislator Nasarino calls it, this is nothing more than creative financing. While I understand and support the county executive in his plan to restructure his administration to serve the people of Putnam County as he sees fit, it is my job as a legislator to review and make informed decisions. The legislature is a separate and equal branch of government, and it's my job to review the facts and make a decision based on those facts on behalf of the taxpayers of Putnam County. I support the county executive's hiring and restructuring and limiting positions. I support his appointments and purchasing plans, and I look forward to working with our new administration in the year to come, and I know there are exciting things to come in Putnam County under this current administration. But I just can't support an increase in salary at this time after increasing this salary not more than 2 months ago. So for those reasons, I will not be supporting the increase in salary.
Any other discussion? Legislator Goldman.
Thank you, Chairman. We're here to vote on the budgetary transfer for the reorganization and reclassification of staffing for the new Putnam County executive. Every time a new county executive in Putnam County and surrounding counties and municipalities throughout New York take office, a new CEO has their own ideas and ways that they want to do things and to move their municipality forward. Putnam County is no different. I would like to see Kevin Burns succeed as the county executive, because if he succeeds, Putnam County moves forward in a positive way, and we are all successful and for the better. If we hinder him, we hinder ourselves and he might not succeed. The Personnel Director, Paul Eldridge, wrote in a letter To the legislature on January 30th, 2023, which is in our backups, I will read just a few segments of that letter. Over the past few months, I have been working closely with the new administration in formulating appropriate staffing for the county executive's office. I believe these changes will significantly enhance our county government operations. He also wrote, as you know, I have been with the county through the transitions of newly elected county executives since the beginning, and numerous other elected county officials. Also in his letter, he writes, I can honestly say County Executive Byrne has presented the most comprehensive restructuring to date. We all respect Paul Eldridge's knowledge and experience, and relied on him in the past for many decisions that we made as a body. In addition to all this, the new administration is being fiscally responsible with this and is saving the county $64,000 with this proposal. Because of this, I will be voting yes to move Putnam County forward. I hope my colleagues in this body join me in supporting this. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comment? Legislator Castellano.
Yeah, I know this is a difficult item that's on our agenda tonight, and you know, with that, there are elections and there are executive staffs, and we certainly want to feel that the incoming elected official has the members in his executive staff that he needs to succeed in this case. I think he presented a really good case. He's got a really good employee that he would like to hire at this rate. The decision is his, and I'm supporting his decision. He is showing a savings to the taxpayers of $64,724. I think it's the right thing to do. We have a new chief of staff, a new CEO, a new county executive, and I think it's the right thing to do to have him comfortable with the executive staff that he has chosen. So with that reason, I'm going to be supportive of this salary increase. Thank you.
Anyone else? Legislator Montgomery.
It just dawned on me as we were figuring out the rationale of this, that I think we just did this for the sheriff's department in the budget season with his command staff. And we gave them a 19% increase to make them whole. So I had to state that now because it just dawned on me that some of the comments made that we don't make people whole because of where they came from is not true. We have done it. So I just needed to state that because it just, the light bulb went on. Thank you for listening.
Any other discussion? I've said from day one, we have a new county executive who has a different vision than the previous county executive. I think he's entitled to put the people in place that he desires. He came to us with a comprehensive package that saves the taxpayers $64,000. I'll be voting in favor of supporting the county executive's vision. With that, I'll ask for a roll call vote.
Legislator Anderson.
No.
It's traditional for the chair to restate the question that's being voted on once it's been developed.
Okay. We're voting on an increase in the deputy county executive salary. Just to be clear, with that roll call vote, please.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Crowley.
Yes.
Legislator Elmer.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman.
Yes.
Legislator Montgomery.
Yes.
Legislator Nasarino. Legislator Sage.
No.
Chairman Yonke.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We're going to move to the last bullet, which is the new $40,000 licensing software line, purchase of professional constituent relationship management CRM system. Discussion.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to table this.
We have a motion to table. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, roll call vote, please.
Legislator Andizio.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Crowley.
Yes.
Legislator Elmer.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman.
No.
Legislator Montgomery.
No.
Legislator Nasarino. Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Chairman Yang.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. All right, now we're going to discuss the rest of the original resolution. So we're not discussing the first or last bullet point. I'm going to call for discussion. Yes, Legislator Sage.
Yeah, I just want to say, I just want to reiterate again that I'm supportive of the county executive's plan, the county executive staff, the reorganization. I think it's going to be, it's exciting to see new leadership here in Putnam County. And, certainly think we're going to have a great future here. And I will certainly be supporting the rest of the restructuring.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Item 6E is the approval of fund transfer for social services. It's in the temporary line. It's $33,800, zero fiscal impact. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Item 6F is the approval of a confirmation appointment of the county attorney. Any discussion? With no other discussion, I'd just like to say I know Mr. Spain for many years. We've had some very good interaction over those years. I'm very happy to welcome you aboard. And with that, all in favor? Aye. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Item 6G is the approval of a confirmation, the reappointment of our Commissioner of Finance. Discussion. Legislator Montgomery.
Thank you for staying on, Mr. Carlin.
Any other discussion? We said everything at the personnel meeting, so I'm not going to say it again. All in favor? Aye. Congratulations, Bill. Item 6H is the approval of the confirmation and reappointment of our Putnam County historian. Discussion.
I'll just say she does a fantastic job as a historian. She's done great work for us in Putnam County. Again, I'd like to thank her for her efforts with the Putnam County Veterans Medal, which was fantastic. And thanks for all you do. I think this is a great thing that you're staying with us.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Jennifer Cassidy for all that she does for Putnam County. And I'd also like to encourage our citizens to reach out to our county historian. There's so many wonderful resources here. We have extremely rich history here in Putnam County that oftentimes is hidden, and she can come out and bring it forward and make it real. And it's just, I would encourage everybody to reach out. It's just a wonderful resource that we have in Putnam County. So thank you.
Legislator Montgomery.
I follow Jennifer's work closely on social media, and I try to attend any events that they have, via webinars, and I can't thank you enough for what you've offered the citizens of Putnam County. I remember when this job was open and my late husband was interested in it. He did work in museum installations and wrote scripts and did all the research for military museums, and I'm very familiar with this kind of work and very appreciative of the great work that you do.
Thank you, Jennifer, for everything you do. Truly appreciate it here in Putnam.
I'm not going to repeat all the nice things I said to personnel, but we thank you for your work, Jennifer. It obviously doesn't go unnoticed. All in favor? Aye. Item 6I is the approval of a confirmation, the appointment of the Director of Purchasing. Discussion. Yes.
I just want to know what hasn't he done in the county? And thanks for staying on.
Back to where you started.
Not yet. Not yet.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations, John. Item 6J is the approval approval of a confirmation of reappointment of our Director of Tourism. Discussion.
Sorry, I wasn't at the personnel meeting, so I have to get, I listened to all you guys, and I just got off the phone with the Executive Director of Boscoville, and we had a nice conversation about our Director of Tourism, Tracy Walsh, and I know, as you all know, this was a position I was very critical of in the beginning, and Tracy has represented both sides of the county very well. Thank you.
Anyone else? Legislator Sage?
I'd just like to recognize Tracy again for what she's done in tourism. We had a big transition, I want to say about 5 years ago, and Tracy's taken the reins of tourism and brought us to a place where we can be proud of Putnam County.
Thank you. Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Congratulations, Tracy.
Thank you very much.
Item 6K is the approval of confirmation of the reappointment of our Director for the Office for Senior Resources. Discussion. Legislator Montgomery.
Just thank you for staying on, Mr. Cunningham. I have a very challenging constituent I'm trying to find services for in Phillipstown, and the Putnam County Office of Senior Resources has really come through and provided much needed services to this individual, and the individual is so happy, which makes me really happy. So thank you.
Legislator Sage.
Just to, and we did hand out the proclamation this evening to two employees of Senior Resources. We have a lot of great employees, and that doesn't happen unless we have great leadership. So I'd like to thank Mike Cunningham for all that he does for all our seniors in Putnam County. That's not by mistake. He's very confident in his position and he's going to be around.
Legislator.
I'd also like to thank you, Mike, for everything you do. And I'm always calling your department with seniors that reach out to me. And many seniors don't even know that there's daily meals available to them. But thank you for everything you do.
Anyone else? Mike, you have an important job and you do it very well, and it's recognized. So thank you for your work. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Congratulations, Mike. Item 6L is the approval of the confirmation and reappointment of our Director of the County Veterans Agency. Discussion. Legislator Crowley.
I think Carl is fantastic. He's the backbone of our community, our veterans. We hold in high regard, and without him and his secondhand art, we wouldn't be where we are, and we're very thankful to have such a fantastic program and services for them, and we'd love to recognize them. So thank you so much.
Legislator Montgomery.
Thank you, Carl. I was taking a civil service test, which is right next door to Carl's office, and I was so impressed with, I could hear him working through the, he kind of has a robust voice. And, I had firsthand witness of how hard he works, so thank you.
Legislator Anizio.
Yes, Carl does an amazing job here in Putnam County. And he's been volunteering with me on my food drive every Wednesday. And this is going in the third year. He brings all the boxes. So I just want to thank him.
Anyone else?
Just an observation. He's working in his department. I was at the Suicide Prevention Council workshop this morning at the Top Center, and Carl was there learning more about suicide prevention, advocating for veterans. There are 20 veterans who commit suicide daily, so he's there and learning more what he can do to help veterans in Putnam County, and yeah, he does a lot. I thank him for his service.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item 6M is the approval of confirmation appointment interim commissioner of the Bureau of Emergency Services. Discussion.
I'd like to make a comment, if I may. Thank
Yes.
you. As everybody knows, this is another position that I was very critical of in the past. I am happy that Dr. Neshwat is going to stay on to see us through this transition. It's something that is sanctioned by New York State, as we...
Point of order.
Sorry.
Lipton.
Thanks, Bob.
work, Bob? All in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations,
Aye.
Bob.
Boring.
Forget what she said. 6N, the approval of confirmation appointment interim commissioner of health. Discussion. Legislator Elmer.
But Legislator Montgomery said.
Okay. I'll ask the clerk for a roll call vote.
Legislator Adnezio.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Crowley.
Yes.
Legislator Elmer.
Yes.
Legislator Goulden.
Yes.
Legislator Montgomery.
Yes.
Legislator Masserino. Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Chairman Young.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. I would like to commend our county executive for appointing these fine people at this point. Appointing and reappointing. I call on Chairman Castellano of the Audit and Administration Committee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On behalf of Legislators Elder and Goulden, I'd like to bring forward the following. Item 6O is the approval of budgetary amendment for the Commissioner of Finance. This is the year-end journal entry number 1. This happens 3 or 4 times a year where we just correct the books and put the money in the right location. It's a zero fiscal impact to taxpayers. We're just correcting our books at this time.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Item 6P is the approval of the budgetary amendment for the Sheriff's Department, deputy outside services for the school districts within Putnam County. This is when the Sheriff's Department brings manpower to local events at the schools. The schools cover the costs, so this is when they're paying us back for services that we have already rendered in overtime, etc. It's $12,967. It's $12,900.67. Zero fiscal impact, and this is when the schools pay for some of the extra services that the Sheriff's Office provides for the health and safety of the school districts and their students and people that attend these events.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
6Q is the approval of the budgetary amendment for finance, capital project reserve. This is state aid storm recovery. This is incoming money to Putnam County in the amount of $219,900. This is state aid that the state has sent back to Putnam County for some services that we've provided in recent storms. And again, this is a good use of the money. We're going to put it back into our coffers that we've already paid out these costs in the past.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
6R is the approval of the budgetary amendment for social services, Safe Harbor. This again is an increase in revenue of $43,250 that we're going to put towards the contract line. Zero fiscal impact for Putnam County taxpayers, incoming money.
Discussion.
Through the chair.
Yes.
I just wanted to say that I'm really glad to see this move forward this evening. It's very important, and people don't realize that how we do have an issue with sex trafficking right here in Putnam County. So Putnam Safe Harbor is here to protect us and protect the people. So I'm happy to see this move forward.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Item 6S is the approval of fund transfer for social services. This is, the Commissioner of Social Services has requested a fund transfer to reclassify transfer expenses to correct the amount due to an incorrect eligibility coding issue that we've had. $241,500, zero fiscal impact, and we're just putting money in the right categories.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
6T is the approval of Putnam County's request to extend the 1% increase in county sales tax for an additional 3 years. This is always a very difficult subject for us to handle. Every 3 years it comes up in front of us. It's always a difficult thing, but it's a good way to collect money and take the burden off the homeowners of Putnam County. This way, anybody who spends money in Putnam County can pay part of the sales tax, and it's the increased revenue. It's a considerable amount of money. Without it, we would be putting a heavy burden on the homeowners of Putnam County. So again, we have it in front of us. I know it's a difficult vote, but I think it's absolutely the right thing to do.
Discussion.
Yes. This is important legislation that I absolutely support. I believe that 1% is equivalent to 20 million. I believe that's what we discussed
Yes.
in committee. Yes, so very important. Thank you.
Legislator Sage.
Yeah, I was just going to say, this 1% is equal to $20 million. If we didn't have that in sales tax, which is spent by people coming into the county, people buying gas, people driving through to Danbury, stopping at, and spreading their sales tax dollars here in Putnam County, we have to increase our property tax and burden our property tax, our homeowners another $20 million, which would be astronomical for senior citizens, people who've lost their positions, people who are struggling, so I'm in full favor of this.
Legislator Elmer.
If memory serves, this was originally supposed to be a temporary measure, and we've come to rely on it. At this time, with the inherited budget, the only thing we can do is vote for it. However, going forward, as Chairman of Economic Development, I'd like to investigate additional revenue streams, so eventually we can eliminate this.
Any other discussion? Legislator Montgomery.
I think eliminating it would be to petition the state to make it permanent, which this temporary gesture we take every 2 years is hard to accept. Yes, it's a very difficult thing to consider doing. The way I look at it is it's no secret that county services are not shared equitably across towns. It's kind of a standing joke in District 1 at this point, especially now with what we once thought we were getting for our tax dollars and our property taxes and our sales taxes in District 1 that we share with the county. Now we have a new proposed MOU from the sheriff, which involves a mutual aid plan that will incur a cost to the towns for services that we are currently getting. So the way I look at this 1%, and who's to say that we will increase property taxes? That's not a given yet. Other counties across the state have actually decreased property taxes over the past few years. We have not, and we have continued to increase taxes and decrease services. Sales tax rate by county, we have one of the highest in the state. We don't share our revenue that's generated by these taxes with the municipalities on a regular basis. Surrounding counties have created new services while lowering taxes. Things like eliminating the cost for civil service tests, giving transportation for free for a period of time, and certainly the elimination of the gas tax. So, at this point, with the fact that the county doesn't share sales tax and the constant, barrage of tourism in my town and tens of thousands of people spending their dollars in my district and the money going to Putnam County and me advocating for more services and not getting them, basically just because I'm a Democrat, I'm going to vote no on this.
Any other discussion? I'd just like to state that at committee, our Commissioner of Finance pointed out that this 1% represents approximately $20 million worth of revenue. We know that there's not $20 million worth of fat to cut out of our budget. So if we weren't to pass this, we would have to ask our taxpayers for a 40% increase in the property tax. Right? That's how simple this gets. I'm in favor of this. it probably should be at some point permanent, because there's no way to make up for that 1% other than by the property tax, and that would not be acceptable. With that, I'll ask for a roll call vote.
Legislator Adnesio.
Yes.
Legislator Castellano.
Yes.
Legislator Crowley. Yes. Legislator Elmer.
Yes.
Legislator Goldman.
Yes.
Legislator Montgomery.
No.
Legislator Nasarino. Legislator Sage.
Yes.
Chairman Yasi.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
And item number 6U is the approval of authorization for legislators to attend the February New York State Association of Counties Conference in Albany. We have six legislators who are interested in attending, including our legislative council. So we're going to authorize the funds for them to participate. This is a great opportunity to talk to others within New York State about issues affecting everyone in New York State, and you get some really good knowledge in attending this meeting. I myself have attended a couple of times, and I think it's a great opportunity for any legislator to attend.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Thank you, Legislator Castellano. Item number 7, other business. I would like to make a motion to bring forward item 7A, which is the designation of jail chief medical officer. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Legislator Sage.
You need a vote to put it on the agenda.
Let's all in favor to put this on the agenda?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Just to explain a little bit, at our organizational meeting, the contractor had not yet designated their jail physician. So we had to wait for a designation for the jail physician, which just came in the last couple of days. And that's why we're adding this as other businesses is cleaning up what was tabled at our organizational meeting. So with that, I'll open discussion. Seeing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Item number 8, I'd like to invite the public. It's recognition of the public on agenda items. Any member of the public wishing to speak, please come to the microphone, state your name and the town you reside in. Okay. Seeing there's no public wanting to speak, recognition of legislators, item number 9. Legislator Goldman.
Thank you, Chairman. Looking forward to a positive future for Putnam County with the new county executive and the administration that he's picked for himself. On a sad note, it's great sadness that I inform Putnam County of the loss of 2 great men in the last 2 weeks. What can you say about a poster boy for volunteerism where the individual lives? Ron Cummings was always there to assist and guide so many individuals in our community. As a member of the Putnam Valley Ambulance Corps, Putnam Valley Fire Department, and a member of many other organizations throughout the county, and also the Traffic Safety Board. He was the past president of that. Ron was a great example for many of us, and he will be missed, and I consider him a friend. The other individual was Charlie Milo. Charlie was Putnam Valley when it was largely a farming and summer community. He lived here all of his life. He volunteered in most organizations throughout Putnam Valley. He was a member of the Putnam Valley Fire Department, a member of the Putnam Valley Ambulance Corps, and the Putnam Valley Food Pantry. I considered him a friend. For a while, he even plowed my driveway when I first moved up here. Charlie was a legend, and he will definitely be missed. Please put both of these individuals, these great men, in your prayers, and please rest in peace, gentlemen. Thank you.
Anyone else? Legislator Montgomery.
I want to refer to the legislative prayer that was very meaningful and the work that we did tonight. I didn't love everything that was in the county executive package, and I, sat with it for a long time and worked through it, and spoke to him several times and his deputy, and I really appreciate the level of communication that's happening here. And I recall the reorg meeting where our new chairman discussed extending an olive branch, especially to me. The olive branch refers to the story of Noah and the dove coming back after the flood with an olive branch. And quite honestly, I'm still waiting for that olive branch. I put forth 2 proposals in 2023. One was, again, a request, the 5th year in a row for committee assignments, which I'm very qualified for, and I was rejected again for those, and it's just quite odd. 5th year in a row, pretty qualified to be on those committees, and I was snubbed for those. So, and also I put a request in to discuss the option to live stream meetings. I think it's time. It's 2023. We're in a new phase. COVID taught us a lot. I think live streaming, making our meetings accessible in real time to our public is really important. It was interesting listening to the meeting I missed via audio this week. I listened to it several times, and it's a very different experience listening to it as opposed to being able to visually see your representatives in action. So just not sure why I know why the chairman rejected it. It's not required by New York State. We're not mandated to do it, but let's face it, every other legislative body that I interact with is doing it. We have villages and towns that are scraping together pennies in their budgets, and they are able to do this for their constituents. And with a $180 million budget, we're still not able to do it. We put in a brand new room. There was no consulting with us. The former chairman did that. And I was hoping for the capability to do live stream. And I'm gonna beat that drum every month that we deserve and we owe it to our public to be visible to them. And no, maybe they can't get to the meeting, and it's important that we offer them the opportunity to do so. So let's hear it for the olive branch and not smoke and mirrors, which is what we've had for at least the 5 years that I've been on the legislature.
Yes.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?